Hey there, this is Rahul here from myview.rahulnavy.net, which is my blog. Here in this screencast, I'm going to talk to you about some of the components around ASP.NET Core. The gist of this screencast is how to get started with ASP.NET Core. And in order to get started with that, you first need to install that. Since couple of days actually I was trying to install the same on my VM and I was facing couple of issues. Even then it was a clean build. I mean this VM was completely new and Visual Studio 2015 I set up completely right from the scratch. Even after that .NET Core was not getting installed. I was facing couple of issues. So I thought it would be a good idea to give you an insight of that and also give you a clue of that, like how to resolve that particular problem which I was facing around with .NET Core. Now, in order to get started with .NET Core, I like to flip to this particular URL, and here I will show you that site .NET. So when you do .NET, it will take you to that particular Microsoft site where all these components are listed. So if you want to continue with your Windows development as in which we have been doing so far, so you can simply continue with your full-fledged Visual Studio 2015 and you can download that .NET Framework code itself. So this is particularly targeted to Windows platform, which we have been doing since years. Now this is the one which I was talking about. So this is .NET Core 1.0, so you can download from here. So when I click this, it will take me to that core site where it will present me all the options for different targeting platforms. So when I say it's a different targeting platforms, it's basically across all the platforms. So that is the fundamental thing about .NET Core. It is going to be supported by all the platforms. So it is be it Windows, Linux, Mac, or Dock or whatever. So you can simply download that particular container for that and install on your machine. So by default, it identified me since I'm on Windows OS, so it is highlighting me that Windows. Now the first thing is you need to install this particular update. So the prerequisite here is like you need to have Visual Studio 2015 already installed on your machine. If not, then you can go ahead and download that Visual Studio Community Edition from Visual Studio site itself. Right, once you install that, then you need to, this is the another step. This is the step after installing Visual Studio Community Edition. So this is the thing which you can install this update 3. Once this gets installed successfully, then you need to install this utility .NET Core 1 for Visual Studio. Now what I was telling about is since first two steps were normal, like, and I faced the issue in this particular step. So the issue which happened to me at third step was like this one. So it was giving me this error, like it was saying that setup was not completed successfully. Some of the features was not properly installed. So it was asking me to repair and again reinstall the same, even though it was happening on that clean build itself, right? So what I thought is to give you an insight of that. So when I just look around that error, then I found like this particular thing. So I did that particular command rather than running that utility. So this is the utility which you will be getting downloading from the site, right? And you will be just double clicking on this and running that. So I did it from that command line here. So you can see here in this my prompt. So I just navigated to that and run this with a suffix of this skip underscore vsu check equals 1, which is basically saying you basically it is forcing this utility to not to check that Visual Studio family installed on the machine. I'm assuming that all the things have been successfully installed. So with that thing said, like, so it will give you a, when you run this, it will give you a pop-up which will ask for your agreement verification and everything needs to be checked upon in that checkbox. So once you click OK, then it will install that setup. and that setup will take certain time, so please be patient on that. So once that is done, so you will get all core templates. So when you go new project, when you say this, so here you can get the this family, like here in the web also you can see these two .NET Core templates which is coming here, right? And here there is one more stack with .NET Core. This is basically intended for a class library or console applications. There is also one core web application for .NET Core sitting here, and there is one two formats of web formats are sitting here. The first one is basically the obvious one which we have been using so far. So I hope you have liked this discussion. In the next discussion, we'll be doing more around .NET Core and ASP.NET Core, and we'll see the skeleton around that and how to get started for that. Till then, stay tuned and happy coding.